Rockets wrap up the regular season at home as we welcome in Mike Robinson, the sideline reporter for the UT Rocket Radio Network. And Mike, Rob, we know one of the things very much on the mind for the Rockets is getting to 7-5 and improve their bowl positioning.
Absolutely. The one thing that the Rockets got to feel like is, earlier in this year, they had a lot of fear in themselves about not getting to the bowl games. But you know what? The past few weeks, they're on a 2-game winning streak. They've crushed that and eliminated that. The big win versus Bowling Green and you're going down to Athens and handling business. This Rocket team looked like what they should have been earlier in the season. It's just dominant on offense, defense having minimal slip-ups. But this football team is shaping up to be really good. And I don't think they have to have any fears about bowl games. They just got to go out here this weekend and take care of business.
On paper, there shouldn't be any issues with Akron. The Rockets are big-time favorites, but as we've seen throughout this season, those games that the Rockets maybe shouldn't have problems with, they've had some issues with. But I think they've put some of those mental issues behind. We've seen a focused team come out the last couple of weeks. I think we're going to see a focused team come out on Saturday.
Well, you got to think about the guys like Bryce Harris and Denzel McKinley-Lewis and what they mean to this program, being around here since, 2016 and seeing the ups and downs of a program, being through a MAC championship, and just for them to go out the right way. Them as leaders, they understand how to take this team the right direction, fill them in, and you know what? And I think that's what it took, those guys to step up and just kind of love up the rest of this team. They've played great. They've played up to their potential. And I think the sky is the limit now for this program going forward. You saw a really good football team in the second half, but you got to give it to the seniors of this team because they are the ones that rallied this team in the later half of the season.
We talked about the game Brian Kobach had last week against Ohio, and that was recognized by the Mid-American Conference as the West Offensive Player of the Week. And Brian Kobach, we know the story. He shouldn't be at Toledo. He should be at a major Power 5 conference school. He started off Kentucky, came back home, and he has had a tremendous 3 years at the Glass Bowl, and more to come perhaps with Kobach.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? He should be here. This is where he should be. He should be right here behind me at the Toledo Rockets. This is home for Brian Kobach. He had the, I'm going to call it a mistake going down to Kentucky, and he came back home knowing what he was supposed to do. This is a great program, a great fit for him, passing up Terry Swanson, who's on the roster, who's there on the sideline. I mean, not on the roster, but on the coaching staff. Being there, seeing this happen, for Coach Nate Cole, seeing his players getting to that next level as a running back is awesome. Brian Kobach really has nothing left to prove here for the Toledo Rockets. I'd be surprised to see him come back next year. He seems like he's the kind of guy ready to go for the next level, but having another season with 1,000 yards, moving himself into 4th place on the record books, Brian Kobach has been nothing but spectacular. And again, he can care less about any accolades. He just wants to win football games.
You mentioned the seniors a little bit ago. Tyson Anderson, another one of those seniors. He did not have the start of the season he wanted because of injuries. He has come on strong, and Tyson Anderson is starting to get some publicity, some national recognition as well.
Yeah, Tyson is an awesome kid. Just a quick story with Tyson, back when he participated in the BCSN and 4th and Goal showcase in 2016, he was one of the top defenders there, and that's when he first got his offer, or a week before, I believe, to Toledo. He committed like a week later. But the thing about Tyson was he knew he always wanted to stay home. He's a 419 kind of guy. This summer we had a football camp. James Hudson came back. Tyson was one of those guys there. He's just a local guy. He's all down to the core, Toledo, through and through, St. John's guy. One thing that you like about Tyson is getting that invite to the Reese's Senior Bowl is one of the best, things for him. You said it earlier in the season. He had the injury. This kid is a leader. He is an NFL-bound kind of kid. But to get this opportunity and to fight through that adversity just speaks to the Toledo toughness of this football team and also of Tyson Anderson and his family because he persevered through a lot of things, and he's never quit on his team one day at all.
Do the Zips have a chance against the Rockets on Saturday?
Do they have a chance?
Yeah,
if we flip a coin, it's possible. But again, the chances aren't in their favor. If we look at the Rockets and seeing that them putting up the offensive numbers that they've done in the past couple of weeks, again, Brian Kobach, the way he ran the football and how angry he did, I saw it in his eyes when he ran up against Bowling Green. I saw it again last week in Athens. Brian Kobach isn't going to be stopped. You look at that defensive line there for Akron. I'm not trying to give them bait or bulletin board material, but this Toledo team is just 10 times better than them personnel-wise. I think they're well coached. This is an Akron team that struggled. They lost a wagon wheel 38-0. This is a team that's struggling. They're on the down part of the season. You probably got a lot of guys ready to quit. You got to take another road trip, and you're going up against a really good team. So you're really planning to play spoiler for Toledo if you're Akron, but I don't think that they have a real good chance defensively of stopping Toledo's offense because they hit on all cylinders. You know, again, Matt Landers, can we just throw the ball to him every single play? He's a big-time football player, and if it's warm outside, you know he's going to be ready to go.
All right, thank you very much, Mike Robinson. We are ready to go on Saturday as the Rockets will wrap up the regular season. I want to thank you for joining us tonight, joining us throughout the season here on College Ball Weekly.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mark.